Yep,
right.
people are coming in.
Yep.
We have no presidential debate tonight to compete with.
Yeah.
We are competing with the Society of Illustrators tonight, though.
Yeah, and Zbrush, just
Yep.
because people want to rest up before
Yeah.
before the Saturday stream.
Ray's training, so he's not going to be here tonight. He's got to be in bed at 7.
Yeah.
So, hi everybody, this is John. I'm here with, of course, you can hear Timmy, Timmy Trabon, my business partner, and Bill Koeb, and CF Payne, and Montavo Machado, and Don Kilpatrick. I think there's going to be a couple more joining us in a few minutes that are just running a little bit late, which is typical. But we're going to jump in and get started here in just a second. I just want to remind everybody, hey, this is coming from Visual Arts Passage. We're in our, we've had middle of our third week of our semester right now. It's going terrific. We've had a great semester. Beginnings of a great semester. Last week we had Catherine Lamb as a guest speaker. This week we have Haley Herrick is coming into the concept classes. Should be a fun weekend. We're here for our drawing night. Many of the same people that have been drawing with us from day one are here and have been great supporters, and I thank everybody that's participated so far. I also want to give a big thanks to Richard Allen. I think this might be the last night, Timmy, that we're drawing, that we're just get through the month with Richard. I'm not sure. There's more.
Yeah, I thought
there's
about
more pieces if we need it. So
yeah, we might be moving on. You know, it's kind of at the generosity of strangers and stuff. We should have done like a spooky night instead, but
that's okay.
Just to buy us more time. But yeah, no, it'll be good.
And then a big thank you to the Art House for the connections, and the Wade brothers for introducing us and allowing us to commingle with these photographers. I think that's, one more thing. If you need to get to the reference, that's how you get to the reference. Go to our website.com/photos, and that's where you'll find our reference. And then #illustration isolation, both on Facebook and on Instagram, to post your work in between or afterwards. It's fun I enjoy going and reviewing everything at the end, looking at people's work. So get them posted before the end of the night. All right, so I think it's time to draw, and that is going to be Bill Koeb is going to be up first.
Yeah, the only thing that I'll add, John, is just if this is your first time joining us, we do this every Thursday, and it's free every time. So,
yeah, the price is right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, let me just get the reference up, and
Sure.
And then I'll start. So.
And I'm going to be doing the timing. We're going to be doing 4, as always. We do 4 poses. They're 20-minute poses. Sometimes we take an extra minute or two if we need it, or if we want to. So, Bill, you're up.
Cool. So I'm drawing the young man, the discus thrower, who's
the vertical discus.
Yeah, and he's sort of next to a netting that's casting some really cool shadows on his arms and his head. So, I'm just drawing on this Stonehenge white paper that I've been using. I think it's primarily a printmaking paper, but they started making pads. So,
So, Bill, I have a question for you. Is there a reason why you prefer using printmaking paper?
I like the surface of the paper, and it takes a lot of abuse in a lot of
Okay.
different media. I just happened to pick this up at a one of those art shows where they have lots of materials, where all the vendors are there.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the same company that makes Yupo, which is like a plastic that you can draw in. And
Oh.
I like it because it takes all kinds of things. Like this is watercolor and gesso and ink.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems to take a beating. Plus, if I want to do prints, I've got that option as well.
So it's a real versatile mixed media paper.
It is. It's kind of like a Bristol board in a way, but it doesn't have the same tooth as the vellum. It's not as smooth as the smooth. So.
Oh, great. I think it's Legion paper that makes that, isn't it? Or...
Yeah, it's Legion paper that makes it. Yeah. They make a whole bunch of different colors and kinds, and they make Yupo and Linux and yeah. I don't suppose they're going to have the art fair thing this year because of lockdown, but they're good events because you can talk to people who make the materials that you like, and
cool.
Kind of get to know more about their products, which is cool. Plus, they have great deals.
I was gonna say, if anybody's wondering why we're not so loud and chatty right out the gate, it's because we're trying to learn. We're trying to learn from what people have asked, which is not talking over each other. So you asked, and we're listening.
I just blame Ray Bonilla.
Well, I was going to say that was.
Yeah.
As I talk over the top of you, Don, this is is Ray's not here, so problem solved.
Yeah,
it
helps a lot.
No, thank you everybody who responded. We sent out a survey because we wanted, I guess, to be filled with existential dread from all of your responses. No, thanks everybody who finished it. Thanks for sending it out. And a few people said they're worried. Don't worry about illustration isolation is not going anywhere. So we're going to keep doing this. But it's helpful. Thank you.
Very helpful. Thank you all.
So, Bill, I'm just curious, when you're using this paper for printmaking, is there a do you print on it first, or does that matter, the order of printing versus painting, or when you're doing a mixed media approach?
I'm sorry.
So if you're doing something mixed media, say you're painting something, and then do you usually start by painting something and then run that through the press and do the printmaking element, or do you make sure to print on it first? I mean, is there a step-by-step thing that you follow?
Yeah, like if I'm doing printmaking, then typically that printmaking will be doing a monotype, which is painting on a flat surface and then pulling a single print. And then if I paint on that, then I'll paint on it after that.
Okay, cool.
But I haven't really painted on things and then run them through my press. I mean, the closest thing I did to that was when I was doing some image transfers a few years ago. And I would use my press to really make sure that the things were glued down that I was transferring. But yeah, typically, I mean, if I'm printmaking on something, I'll do the printmaking part first.
What kind of press you got, Bill?
I have a 2-foot by 4-foot bed on an Eton ETTAN press. It's an etching press that I've had for about 20 years.
It's that kind of a big one, like a table size one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool one.
Yeah, it was a gift to myself when I was making a lot of money doing illustration.
Oh, good times. I've never been there.
It's the good times, yeah.
Yeah, I got into illustration too late.
Oh.
I have the time to make a lot of money out of it.
It was only a short period of time, so.
Yeah, maybe half an hour, you say.
Yeah, it was a few hours.
I was sleeping, maybe. I just lost this half an hour of golden years of illustration. Here in Brazil, it was just, you know, it happened, actually. It happened like the late 70s, early 80s, maybe. But actually, I got into the business in late 80s, early 90s. So there was not a chance for me to, you know, make some real money out of illustration. I could survive. I could manage to pay my bills, but that was all.
Yeah, I mean, that's about when I got into doing things, but I spent the first few years drawing comic books and then really started doing more illustration in the mid-90s. But I mean, it was really just one advertising job that I did that paid really, really well. And, you know, it was just kind of a fluke. I mean, a good fluke, but it was a fluke in a way.
I've been out of advertising for quite a while now. I've been working more into motion design and illustration for animation and storyboards and videos and all this kind of stuff.
Oh,
More
that's
than
cool.
video producers than anything else. It's a good market, actually. You know, they pay, you know, well in terms, not as much as advertising would, but way much better than editorial market would.
Oh, that's good. I would love to do stuff like that. I like doing things for motion and
I'd say that motion and games are, you know, growing markets these days. They're really, you know, hiring a lot of people and making money go from one place to another, you know.
oh, that's cool. I mean, I just haven't been able to crack that that market, you know, and it might be, you know, the work in my portfolio. It could be, you know, the lack of experience working in games.
Yeah, actually, there are some things that we do that like landscape design or interiors and, you know, concepts and things like this, which are mostly illustrations used to a different market, right?
Yeah.
Because animation itself, it's such a different world. It's
Yeah.
different language. I've been studying 3D and Maya and all this kind of things and Zbrush, but they are so out there. There's so much to learn, you know, and the curve is so long. And
No, absolutely.
yeah, I would have to forget everything that I know and jump into it just like fresh start. Not exactly what I'm thinking of doing at this age.
Right.
So I try to get, in between worlds. So offering illustration for this kind of market. And it's happening, you know, even for games that I'm not a gamer or player or whatever, a hard one, but they need what I do. And, I try to get useful for them.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, I've talked to some of the game companies here in North Carolina, and I've submitted work for concept work and for other types of work, and I know a little bit. I know Maya a little bit, and I know Studio Max a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I have no ZBrush experience, but I've seen a lot of things in it that I liked.
ZBrush is a funny thing because it's so wide that you can really jump into it and spend like 1 year learning things, and you won't get a hold of everything. But if you just want to model a couple of things and get started and just like play or doing something with your hands, I think ZBrush is very friendly. If you
Oh,
if you
that's
don't
cool.
expect to live out of it, because there are some people that just ZBrushers, hardcore ZBrushers, I would say.
Yeah.
But if you don't really need that, but sometimes you want to just sculpt the model and get a lighting on it just to have a nice reference instead of looking for something. I think you can get it done in a couple hours.
Oh, that's
And it's
cool.
very useful. So if you know the basics, you can go really far, just using basic tools and basic lighting.
Oh, that's cool to know. Is it a PC program, or does it work on a Mac as well?
They work in both.
Oh, okay.
And I think, I'm not really sure, but I think the license is, working for both platforms. It didn't really work that way a few years ago. You have to choose to buy a Mac license or a
Right.
Windows license. But I think now it works on both stations with one
Oh, that's
license.
cool. And my friend John Van Fleet does a lot of stuff in ZBrush, and uh, does a lot of cool 3D things too.
John's very good.
John's work's amazing. He makes the coolest 3D things. I mean, he was already a great illustrator and comic book artist and designer. Uh, but he sells his stuff on Daz 3D for,
Oh, really?
yeah, as the Ant Farm.
Mm-hmm. It's like an image bank for 3D stuff, right?
What's that?
It's just like a image bank for 3D stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good market to be working on because people need some specific stuff, and maybe just throw it out there, and you can sell it a dozen times or 100 times depending on what you're doing. You won't make a lot of money at first, but just selling it over and over and over again, it may make some income.
Yeah, no, I think that's true. And I think that's his main income stream, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I mean, maybe I should call you after this and pick your brain. Uh, I'd love to find out about, using my skills for something like that.
Anytime. It's just if you want to, chat one of these days, just give me a call.
Let's definitely talk, because I'd love to find out more about um, at least finding more work like that, or doing more work like, what's involved in it.
Bill, I've got a question from the audience. Somebody just asked, JR13, might not be their real name. How did you get started in comic books?
How did I get started in comic books?
Yes.
I wanted to do comics when I was a kid, and I started, like a lot of people, by copying other artists. And then I went to art school and forgot about comics for a little while, until I started seeing sort of a lot of the painted comics, things like Moonshadow and Elektra, and some of the other books. And so I was going to comic book conventions, and I basically went to comic book conventions, and I did some samples. I had a story idea. I did some samples. I kept showing it to art directors or editors. It's really editors, and would add samples to my portfolio and meet people who were doing things that I liked and try to learn from them. And then eventually somebody gave me a job. An editor named Dan Chichester gave me a job doing a story for a book called Hellraiser, which I had no idea what Hellraiser was. I was just glad somebody was giving me a job. So I did that, and then I did a few other stories, and then eventually I was approached to do a series called Fault Lines. And so that was like a 6-issue series for Vertigo. I don't think there is a Vertigo. Is there a Vertigo still?
I'm not sure.
I know DC kind of had an implosion. They let go of a lot of people.
And many editors are going the same way, just closing out.
I read the other day, though, that DC's restarting their Milestone line. So maybe there'll be some more, comics that I guess they're trying to embrace diversity. Which would be cool, because there's a lot of great characters.
Oh yeah.
What's that?
I loved how they opened up the possibilities with the Spider-Verse. I'm not sure if you saw that, Bill.
Yeah.
The film, yeah.
Oh God, that was.
I'm saying the name wrong.
3 times, 2 in the same week.
Yeah, it's so good.
That's like the best Spider-Man movie.
Hey, I think it was my favorite. Yeah.
Actually, if you.
Oh, you guys were talking about DC. Sorry, somebody's like, they're talking about Marvel. I know it's Marvel.
Got to get that right, man.
I know that is not the place to get it right. I will say this though: the person who corrected me spelled Marvel wrong. So, so we'll call it even. Yeah, no, that I loved that, and it really did like, it like was such a great like storytelling.
Oh yeah.
Route to take. It absolutely made sense. So,
yeah, and I thought they really they didn't stick to like say, okay, well, we've got to do it this way. They just
yeah.
I mean, it was kind of all over the map stylistically, which was fun. Um, and I thought the characters were great too. So
Yeah.
And in the company that I work on, it's a video producer, and some of the clients that we have are McDonald's and Sony. So sometimes they make a mix from a movie that is being launched, like Spider-Verse.
yeah,
Put the McDonald boxes, the smiley ones, and just acting as the real actors on the movie. And we made I think a couple of 30-second TV commercials on McDonald's with Spider-Verse as a theme. And it was so crazy to do that because we
that's cool.
had we have the privilege of looking at some of the files from Sony because we were working on it. And we were advised just to, be very, very careful not showing this to anyone because, it just can't be shown to anyone, really, indeed, not even your wife. It's just something like so secret. And we were working on it. And then we went to see the movie. It was just crazy, crazy. They were doing something technically that is so out there, just like motion blur. When they were doing motion blur, instead of doing the conventional thing that, spreading the image over a few frames, they were breaking the colors out. So the motion blur is just like color aberration. It's just when
Yeah,
you it like red shifts to one side and green shifts to the other, and then it makes the image looks like a motion blur. But if you stop it frame by frame, it's just displacing the colors from its, register. And that was so crazy because
I thought that was really cool.
yeah, it gives a color signature to the whole movie.
It was like the old 3D books that you would get.
Yep.
Where you wear the red and green glasses.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Montalvo, would that be with RGB or with CMYK, or like how does that work? Do you know?
Yeah, it was RGB because it was all on screen. But if would that be printed, that would be broken into CMYK. But as far as we are working on screens and projectors and things and movie stuff, they're all in three colors. But the idea is just just like missing the register as we used to see on comic books when they were misprinted. The yellow was outside the red and all these kind of things that used to be a mistake. They just decided this would be a color style for the movie. And if you stop it frame by frame, man, it's just spectacular.
Well, Bill, our timer went off about a minute ago. If you want a minute or two, you're welcome to it. Can you hear me, Bill?
Bill is there?
He's in tremendous focus.
No, I think he muted his mic.
He's busy. He needs the
I
time.
lost my computer audio and video.
Oh.
So not sure what happened.
Yeah.
Well, we're done with this pose. On to the next.
Bill, that was great.
Very good, Bill.
Oh, there we go.
Excellent.
And I think you can bounce around the room.
Yeah, we'll take a walk around the room.
You're not walking to my room right now, but you can bounce around the room.
Mr. Payne, we're stopping by.
All right.
Very great.
I heard this man can do some pretty interesting drawings. Is that true?
Knock it off.
Yeah, I
Knock it off.
think so.
You heard right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Weird.
Well, I'm having some kind of weird technical difficulty with my computer, but
Looks great.
Yeah.
There we go. Montalvo.
Yeah, I'm still
Nice.
working on it.
that's what I've got
The
there.
first. This is the first pose. This is the standard first pose. Don turned off his video, so.
Oh, come on. You turned off my video.
Oh, has it been off since I did that? Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, Don, really?
Yeah.
Turned off your video is the second you thought we were gonna walk around the room.
I've ghosted everybody.
Yep. No, this is great. Cool. Who's up next to bat?
I think it's me.
Mr. Payne.
All right. Excellent.
I'll have to work on that first drawing some more, getting caught up in all those shadows of the net and everything. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's a time eater.
Those of you joining us for first time, please post your work. Just you can post Instagram or Facebook. There we go. Leap.
That's the pose.
It's titled Leap. It's on the website. Double checked. It's there in the right order.
All right, here we go.
If you don't know, people that are drawing with us tonight, and I'm sure most of you do know who Chris Payne is, C.F. Payne. Chris is one of the most successful illustrators that's worked in the last 50 years, I will say. He's won every accolade you could possibly imagine. Hamilton King winner from Society of Illustrators, elected to the Hall of Fame at the Society of Illustrators. Chris has been teaching with me for 26 years, and just a remarkable artist, remarkable illustrator, and a really, really good guy.
Thank you.
I actually have a hard time drawing when Chris is drawing because I always want to watch him. So.
Well, and Chris, I'm assuming you're going to have a lot fewer excuses to skip out on this now that baseball's over.
Well, what I was going to say, you guys were talking about, debates and all that. I was going, hey, are you kidding me? It's baseball that's over. Man.
I watched it.
I didn't watch the end of it because I wasn't going to watch those damn Dodgers celebrate.
Well, Chris, if it's any consolation, it seems like very likely the whole Dodgers team got COVID from what's his name, who
we
couldn't keep himself off the field.
Always looking on the bright side.
Chris, I'm going to give. I know we always go to sports analogies in here, but there's one I have to bring up that I personally heard that once, and I saw it on the 30-30 of Bo Jackson, and that was George Brett's comment about Bo Jackson. And George, he said, you'd be in the dugout, and it didn't matter who was up to bat. You would always, you'd have to run and get a drink, or you would leave the dugout. You wouldn't be paying attention. He said, but when Bo Jackson came to bat, everybody watched. You were totally fixated on what he possibly might do. And that's kind of how I feel like watching you draw, Chris. I feel like I have to pause and just watch you draw, because I don't know what's going to what greatness is going to happen. So
I appreciate that. Well, you know, that is what you're describing is what I think makes baseball such a great game. Is it's a game about anticipation. I mean, you have the confrontation between a pitcher and the batter, but then when that ball is put into play, all kinds of things happen. And it's just, every time it's something a little different. You see strange things, but also incredibly exciting things.
well, a good analogy then, because I watch it happen, and your facilitation makes it easy for us to see that because you get there so quick.
Well, it's what are we talking about? What have we been always talking about here? I mean, if you're seeing what I'm doing, all I'm trying to do is focus on shapes. And that's all I'm really doing. I'm not really looking at things as being hands or whatever they are. They're just shapes right now. And that's what I'm responding to.
It's fun to think about baseball and Chris Payne drawing, but there's one thing that Chris does every time, and it doesn't really happen every day on a game. Just he hits the home run out of this planet.
Oh.
Every time he hits the ball, it's he just hit it so far.
I don't know, man. I make my fair share of clunkers.
Yeah, you do. It's so nice to watch you draw. John is absolutely right. It's a show by itself.
I think Montalvo is doing what I'm doing. We're watching Chris.
Yeah. Sometimes stop and watch and learn. No, you won't learn. You won't get there. Nobody does.
And that's basically what I'm doing right now, is watching Chris draw.
Same here. I'm so far behind on this one.
Chris, that piece that you posted today of was it
Lord
Boris
Karloff?
Karloff?
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Well, it was a good shot. As Bernie Fuchs would say, it was in the shot.
It reminds me a little bit of, it's almost like it's a companion piece to Mark's Dracula.
Now you're turning my head there, bro. I mean, that's just
it's a great piece. I mean, it's.
Well, thank you. It was a lot. Karloff is just such a wonderful character. I mean, I've been watching a bunch of his movies recently. Some of his movies that in today's world would never have a chance of being made. But they're fun movies.
Yeah.
Totally entertaining.
Most of my Saturday mornings as a child and at 8 o'clock in the evening was Creature Features. And,
Oh yeah.
Oh, I could never miss Creature Features. I loved it.
Yeah. For us, Creature Features was on at night, like at 11 o'clock.
We had a character in Cincinnati called the Cool Ghoul.
Yep.
Which is great. That's where I got to learn. It's not just, of course, you have the classic Universal Studio films. I mean, I love, Lugosi as Dracula and what have you. But that's where I first got to see Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, which is just a great. If you guys aren't familiar with it, it's an old silent German expressionist movie, and it's just fantastic.
I really need to rewatch Ed Wood. Have you ever seen that, Chris?
What's that?
Have you seen Ed Wood with Johnny Depp?
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
That's
man.
great.
Well, we were, when I say we, it was, I used to watch them with Bob Heindel's son, Troy, and Toby Heindel. And we were doing great with them. We loved them until we saw The Haunting of Hill House.
Oh, yeah.
And the original version of it. And that was the first time I was ever like physically scared of something I saw on the screen.
John, I think everybody over the age of 50, they always tell me scariest movie they've ever seen.
It was absolutely the scariest movie.
They're like, it's horrifying.
They kept it subtle.
Yeah, I like that. They play with shadows and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, well, I mean, Dracula, I loved it. And when I was real young, scared the crap out of me. But the other one that scared the crap out of me when I was really young was the original Mummy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good movie.
It's because it's not got some monster that comes crawling out. It's more psychological, or magical. It's more like magic as he's reaching into the pot, to strangle the guy. It's just it's just so different. But it's just, man.
You just said it. It was different than the other movies.
Yeah. And of course, Karloff. What do you say? I mean, he was great.
I saw The Exorcist when I was like 13, and I think I have I have lifelong trauma.
I wonder why.
Oh man. It was bad. And it was a sleepover event where I was like at someone's house who clearly the parents were pretty like not there. And you couple a 13-year-old seeing The Exorcist and then going to a really Catholic school. Ooh.
Oh,
Ooh, the authority figures in your life. I went to Catholic school when there were still nuns running the show. So, you go to school and you're like, I'm scared because I saw a scary movie. And they're like, well, you should be because it's very real. You're like, wait, what? Yeah.
I mean, that's enough to throw you into therapy for years.
Pretty much, Bill. Pretty much.
Yeah, that I saw part of The Exorcist when I was about the same age, and I couldn't watch the whole thing. I mean, it was just disturbing.
See, I was just old enough to have enough toxic masculinity to be like, I can't act afraid in front of my guy friends. I'm sure we all felt the same way. So we just like white knuckled our way through this horrible movie.
You guys had something to prove to yourselves, right?
Yeah, apparently.
I was alone, Timmy, when I saw it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I couldn't have done that. I would have got
that's
5 seconds in.
That's your own mistake, Bill.
I remember
my sister used to like really scary books too, like things that all had to do with possession and Satanism and stuff like that.
Oh, man.
Like what's a really scary one? The Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Isn't that what it's called?
Oh yeah.
What's that?
Don, you know what I'm talking about? Is that what
I
it's
think
called?
so. It's got that crazy illustration on the front.
The illustrations in it are wild. Like I still think about how scary they were.
Yeah,
I think it's called Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Yeah. I had that book. It's pretty. Yeah, it stirs it up.
Yeah, I think
the first drive-in movie that I went to with one of my friends could drive when we were 16 went to see Last House on the Left and Halloween for Halloween.
Oh my God.
Those were the first like slasher movies I saw, and I was just like, oh man. And I've never been comfortable with that type of movie anyway. So
Don,
I want to say hi to Terry Brown. Terry's here.
Terry.
Very.
Sister Mary.
How are you, Terry?
Sister Mary Rasputin. That was just one comment. Yeah. Don, regarding that book, Jenna commented, Stephen, I'm assuming she spelled it the way it sounds, Stephen Gamble did the illustration.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes. I believe that's right. Yeah. For me, it was The Shining. When Bill's talking about watching a movie by himself, I made the mistake when I was young to watch The Shining alone.
Oh yeah.
That was.
That would do it.
Yeah. Oh man.
You don't even want a boing toast when you watch that movie.
Oh,
Don, so when Christopher the model was quarantined with us,
Yeah.
we were here for I mean, it was pretty isolating, and we and he has a like a ritual every morning. He wakes up and he writes poetry for like 2 hours, and he has a typewriter that he does it on. And they're really great, but he had a room of the house that was just dedicated to his poetry writing, and we were getting to, it was like the stage of quarantine where I think everybody was drinking a little bit more than they usually do. You know, we were always kind of waking up groggy and stuff, and
Right.
and we started to shoot with our phone, just like fun. Like I ended up getting lights out and stuff, and we started doing shot for shot scenes from The Shining. Just staging them. One of the ones that we did was him where he walks up to the bar, you know, in the bar.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he does the big scene where I'm trying to remember. I'll try and pull it up because we were just so bored. We were like, I bet we could reshoot some of that stuff.
Yeah.
We have a question from one of our students, Addison, and I want to direct this at Chris because I think this is perfect for him. Do you guys think that horror movies now still hit the same way way older films do, or do you think horror evolved along with society?
That's a good one.
Sorry, I'm an antique. I shouldn't answer that question.
Okay, Bill.
I was gonna say, it depends on who you're asking that question.
Yeah, I think horror movies now, they really try to, I mean, they put the scary stuff in front of any kind of story. I think story is sort of a afterthought. It's like, how scary can we make this girl crawling out of the TV upside down and backwards or whatever? And
I'll just simply say, I wish they would allow you to use more of your imagination.
absolutely, yeah.
That's all I'm going to
yeah.
say, and I'm done.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well, I mean, that just, like, for me as a child watching Poltergeist,
Yeah.
the most terrifying scene is when the old woman is talking about where the kids went, and they don't show a single thing. It could be it's as old as time, you know, people getting around a campfire and sharing a story and using your imagination. I think that's why that scene is so effective in Poltergeist, the old original way, Spielberg.
Well, I think that's the thing, you know, and like now it's you see everything. One of the scariest movies I saw or fun movie to saw was it 13 Cloverfield Lane?
Oh yeah, you never see you barely see anything in that. It's completely your imagination.
And you don't know if he's just insane or
yeah,
if it's real or what it is. But I can't watch movies like It and those are just they're just a little too much.
They're too scary.
Yeah, it's just, you know, but things that scared me when I was a kid, like, did you guys ever hear the movie called Magic with Anthony Hopkins?
Mm-mm.
It's about a evil ventriloquist dummy.
Oh man,
there was a movie called The Other.
Oh gosh, that was
watched.
That was just Tom trying.
And that movie, it's like you don't know if the kid's seeing his double or
oh god, that
ghost. I would ride my bike home at night from my friend's house. And like if I saw my reflection in a car window, it would scare the crap out of me after watching that movie.
Oh yeah, that whole thing with the apple cider and
well,
yeah, I mean, just my sister read books like Audrey Rose, which was about possession, and I don't know if you ever saw the movie It's Alive, which I never saw, but I saw the commercials for it, and it creeped bejesus out of me. Because it's like this baby's, it's like this stroller, and it kind of pans up to the stroller, and at the very end, you see this like little clawed hand or something like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen It Follows?
Yeah,
Hmm.
that was
No, I haven't seen
good.
that.
Because I gotta say, I think it's like a lot of media. It's like it's for the time. So, you know, you tend to it tends to speak to you more if you're, you know, no offense, guys, but part of that time. No, but they kind of age differently. Because I gotta imagine that like the volume, because I think horror films have always been like a cash cow, like make them as cheap as possible and as many as possible. And so there's always been kind of like a drudge of just like, you know, quantity over quality. But then every once in a while you get these like outstanding, like I think of It Follows as like that was when you guys talk about great, like the feeling of dread or terror that is in older films. Like I felt like that really did that well. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I agree,
Yeah.
Timmy.
Yeah.
Did you see Midsummer?
Oh man. I heard.
Oh man.
But I couldn't do it.
That was
You know-
the same director who did Hereditary, I think.
Dale, that just that still is just that's
That
probably
was-
one of the worst. Oh my gosh.
That was something, huh?
Ah, totally messed me up.
Yeah.
I never want to go to Norway in my life.
Oh, I know.
I don't care. I'm sorry. I'm not going to Norway. I'm not going to Sweden. I don't care. I don't care. You know, I'm not dancing around the maypole. I'm not doing any of that stuff.
You're not going to jump? You're not going to take the jump?
No. No. I'm staying away from those lands.
Yeah. It was really beautiful too, though, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. It was. I mean, it was really gorgeously shot and just wow. But it's pretty messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the nature of what scares society has changed a lot. You know, we don't. I don't know. The monster movies are silly now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's not scary anymore. It's fun, but it's not scary. Whereas I think when they first came out, it had never been seen before, so it was probably much more frightening than it is now.
Well, the technology is so. I mean, you try to show somebody, young person, you know, the original King Kong, and they're just gonna look at you. You know,
No.
they're just gonna look at you weird because. But I mean, can you imagine? You know, that being the first film you'd seen of that nature. I mean,
Yeah.
it just was so different for its time, and it was so far ahead of its time, and it just totally freaked people out when they first saw it. I mean, nowadays, again, like I said, you show it to young people, they're going, what? It's a puppet. Okay, I get it. Okay, well, who cares? But, you know, I can't help but look at it in the context in which it was made, and it just marvels me.
Oh, I totally agree. Yeah.
Chris, there's a really good documentary by Peter Jackson. Have you seen that?
On making a King Kong?
Yes, not making his remake,
Right,
but
the original.
Yeah. I was not aware that film had like broke down had more technical breakthroughs really than any other film up to that point.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
What they did in that film.
The way they layered the scenes, because you know each scene was kind of a to layer a scene, they would have like 15 tables of their claymation kind of scene, right? They would have those, so it added this depth that like nobody had seen before in film. It's really, I highly recommend people watching it. Let's see if I can.
The storyboarding of it and all the work that's done in it is just some incredible artists were working on that film all the way through.
Just to sort of go on a tangent, has anybody seen Walton Ford's King Kong paintings that he did?
No.
Who's?
I've
Awesome.
seen a lot of his other work, but not that in particular.
Yeah, he did this series of huge King Kong faces, and I guess the conceit was he's really bummed out that his girlfriend left him. You know. But
Who was that?
Walton Ford.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, he's kind of like I would kind of describe his work like Audubon on acid.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
I love it. I think.
Yeah, no, me too. It's so technically, and it's amazing what he's doing at such a large scale in watercolor. It's pretty amazing.
I've seen those. I've not seen that, but I've seen that work before, and it is amazing stuff. Especially when you know it's watercolor.
Oh yeah, just to get that kind of control, it's like wow.
He works really big too. Not all, of them, but a lot of them.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing stuff.
I ruined our fun.
No, it's okay.
Well,
You do
Ray's
that.
not here, so
Chris, the alarm went off.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, you can have another minute or so if you need it.
Thank God.
You know, just going back to Peter Jackson for a minute. Have you guys ever seen Heavenly Creatures?
oh,
That is a creepy movie. It's a great movie. It's got what's in it? It's got Kate Winslet in it and this actress named Melanie Linsky. It's basically about these two 14-year-old girls and their friendship. And the horrible things they do.
oh geez.
You know, I think I did see that.
It's a creepy movie, but it's really good.
Okay, I'm going to take everything back. The absolute scariest movie I've ever seen is the movie 13, when my daughter was 13 years old.
Are you saying that your daughter was the scariest thing that?
No, I'm saying
No.
that movie was. I was, just awareness of what was going on in the world at that time. I was like, oh my Lord.
Yep.
I have to think about this.
Well, what was that movie that had Jeremy Irons where he plays the twin gynecologist? It's a Cronenberg.
Oh yeah.
That one, again, see, that's not a horror, it's not like but it is just a creepy thing.
Oh, that's Cronenberg.
Yeah, it's total creep.
Cronenberg did some great movies too, like
Oh yeah.
Coma and
Through the Fly.
yeah,
Oh yeah, that's right.
yeah.
So
Naked Lunch.
so anyway, we're done.
That's cool, Chris.
Oh wow,
Go,
nice.
Chris.
Oh, it's great.
Nice job of that right hand. That was a funky.
You just have to guess at the thumb.
Yeah.
You just got to guess at the thumb.
Yeah, really nice.
I like the way you pushed her feet, like her foot, like so far forward, and that other one is just way lagging back.
Yeah, there's some Chuck Jones peeking out there.
Yeah.
Little Chuck Jones, little Rockwell, little Mort Drucker.
Yeah.
Somebody said Terry Brown says very Jack Davis.
There you go, Collie.
Yeah.
I
Who's
just know
Frankenstein?
the feet would have to be bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Jack Davis did some of the best Frankenstein drawings.
Oh, totally.
Oh my God, so good.
Oh yeah, those. Yeah.
Well, like I said, later on, I'm going to come back to this one and work on him more and see how far I can get and then post something, see if I can get a more complete work on this.
Yeah, I want to do another one. I just did his face, but I want to do another body.
Yeah, Chris, if you could work on those a little bit before you post them.
Yep. There's the one you guys were talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's a
is
beauty.
so gorgeous.
Wow.
Oh gosh.
That's beautiful.
Starting to get it.
Chris.
They're
right.
fun. I love
Right.
doing this stuff, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Chris has got to get somewhere. So, hey, thank you very much for
Thank
joining
you.
us, Chris.
Great to see you.
Yeah, it's great to see you.
Chris.
Bye, Chris.
You guys take care, okay?
Yeah,
All right.
You too.
you
Stay
too. Have
safe.
fun
Bye.
tonight. Be safe.
You bet.
That guy's too good.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Oh, that's looking good, John.
What?
That drawing.
Oh, I'm trying to get a head start on this one. I started drawing this about halfway through what Chris was doing.
Yeah.
I
The
think you
artist
got
I was trying to
distracted,
think of
John.
last week was Dave Johnson.
What distracted you, John?
Pardon me?
What distracted you, John?
Oh, nothing. Nothing.
Yeah.
You were out of focus. We were all.
So, Don, you're up.
Okay. Hey Timmy, you gotta give me that video back.
Oh yeah. Have you not been able to use it?
No.
Because I took it away. Oh,
No,
God.
man, just you're listening to Ray, so Ray totally got to you before I did.
It says
You
you
know,
can
Don, without seeing the video, your voice is reminding me of Ray Romano. While I'm thinking about Ray.
and
Thanks, man.
everybody, tonight with us, we have a very special guest. We have Ray Romano.
Well, hello everybody. Yeah.
I don't mean that in any bad way. I mean, he's got a nice voice. So,
Well, thanks, man.
yeah, you got a good voice. So.
Appreciate it. Get a podcast going or something.
Montalvo drew the last one, right? I was like, I'm gonna walk around the room. Then I was like, nobody.
Oh, I drew the last one.
Oh, you did?
I didn't.
Oh, let's see it.
Oh, I was watching Chris.
Nice.
I drew the head of the last one.
Yeah, let me see it. Bill, why don't you hold it up if you can? No pressure. This. Oh, here. Sorry, I was like,
There.
yeah. No, Bill, it's the wrong one. No. Yeah. Here, hold on 1 second.
There.
1 second, because everybody's. I got too many windows, man.
I'm holding it up.
Cool. There we go. Sorry, everybody.
So
Nice.
there's one, and there's the first one.
All right, Don.
All
Go ahead
right,
and
I'll
use the
get
video.
I'll get started here.
But I have
Oh,
something
yeah.
else I want to show you too. So
Cool. Yeah, Don, I'll let you. Bill, we're going to go to Bill's studio until Don's got his.
Sure, man.
Right. Here. I keep going to the wrong video camera. Oh, nice. Oh, man. Oh, man.
Classic.
We're going back to Don's studio.
A Halloween classic right there.
oh,
Okay.
that's hateful.
Yeah.
All right. Cool, man. I'm going to get started here. So I'm painting. I'm using Adobe Fresco, and I'm going to be painting the discus thrower in mid action here. So get this started.
Don, are
Did
you using the same thing Ray is using, or are you just sharing your screen?
Yeah, basically, I'm using. He recommended OBS, and within OBS, you can get a plugin for your virtual camera, so it goes directly into your video feed. I'm having a little bit of a delay here, but essentially, yeah. So what it does is it goes directly in without having to share your screen as you typically would in a Zoom meeting, right? So it was awesome that he was willing to share that. This is a great way. I think I've been able to do some real effective paint overs with some of my students using this method, and it's pretty much free, with OBS being an open source software.
So what is it in OBS? What's the?
Yeah, OBS stands for Open Broadcast Software.
Yeah, I have it,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
just cannot get it going.
Well, you know, if you want, I actually have a former student of mine that graduated who's a really amazing tech head, and I paid her to make a series of like really basic, simple how-to videos, and I'm willing, you know, I could share those with you if you want.
Oh, awesome. I'd appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I mean, I've yet to, I'm using a PC right now. I've yet to install it on my MacBook, but I'm going to try to do that this weekend.
So do you plug it into, do you plug your iPad into your?
Oh, so for the iPad, there's software called Lonely Screen, and what that does is it recognizes your iPad recognizes it as an Apple TV, and so once you start Lonely Screen, it will find it, and then it pretty much is mirroring what you have on your iPad onto your laptop or
Oh, okay.
you know, your computer, and then you start OBS through your computer, and then you identify that as the window. And you know, I have a whole thing on that. It when you first get the software, because it's open source, it's you know, it looks pretty like, or at least it looked really intimidating to me.
Yeah, it's pretty raw.
But once you know a little bit of the jargon, and I was lucky to have this person kind of, you know, walk me through that. Once you get through that part, it's not as intimidating as you initially think.
Okay.
So and you know, I got you covered. So just
Awesome.
remind me. Yeah.
Appreciate
John,
it.
it was cracking me up because when you were starting to really applaud OBS, your screen was like glitching out.
I know, right? I know.
I was getting nervous.
It's like perfect.
And we've lost time.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, kind of a cautionary tale. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could do anything with this program.
No, that's what we're streaming to YouTube, which I think the YouTube stream is a lot better. All 4 people attending probably agree. It is, but yeah, no, OBS is daunting when you look at it, but it's actually really pretty easy.
Yeah, it's, you know, once you understand the very basic controls in that, it's not bad at all. And I love it. I mean, it's goodness, between buying Lonely Screen is like a $14 a year subscription for that app. It's a really simple app, and then OBS is free. So, you know, I would have never been able to do this for that, you know, for that little bit of money in the past, you know, which is like 2 years ago.
It's just amazing everything we're able to do, you know.
Oh yeah. Well, and you know, and that's one of the things that, you know, I mean, this situation with the pandemic and stuff is difficult, but this is one of the things that I'm trying to look at as a positive takeaway. Is it's really forced the issue for me to not shy away from trying to use video editing software or try to figure this stuff out, because, you know, it's really just a way to communicate, right? You know, if you're in like, you know, we've been in, you know, you all probably have been in a foreign land, you haven't been able to communicate in that language, but you know, being just a human being and you want to communicate, you find ways to communicate and break through some of that difficulty. And that's essentially what I kind of liken this to, is it's just, this is an opportunity for us to break through what we don't know. And it's not easy, but you know, it's like running in extremely hot weather. You know, it's not something that you can do, but you know, super well, but you can do it, and it's not easy, but you know, it gets easier the more
you do it.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to take away from it. I mean, I try to, you know, now is that easier said than done, right? So, but yeah, but it's really proven to be really useful for me in teaching digital painting.
As an online school, Don, it's been helpful for us because I want to say the 4 years we've used Zoom, I had like 5 tickets open with them for like 4 years.
Really?
Of being like, hey, can you guys fix this? You know, I think I should be able to block our users from like sharing their whole desktop, like a privacy thing.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like all it takes is like Zoom's stock to plummet like one day, and they're like, yeah, maybe we should make this thing more secure.
Yeah.
So, you know, we went from like Zoom telling us like once a year, like, hey, the update is coming, you know, to you know, I think Zoom has an update now, like since the pandemic, you know, since they started getting scrutinized, they have an update that comes out like it seems like almost once every other week.
Oh yeah, big time.
So the products are just getting way better as far as the user. My experience, user experience is getting better.
Yeah.
So my question is, Timmy, did you get the update that where you can put a mustache on and a bowler hat and stuff like that?
Oh, like the
That's probably really
Snapchat,
important.
like the Snapchat
Yeah.
thing.
I mean,
Oh,
I think
man. If
that's
that
probably
exists. If that exists already, Don, I gotta disable it on our school account.
Oh my goodness! Come on, Timmy.
Yeah, no. For a while, we had the background disabled.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, just because I mean, now it's gotten better, but originally it was a mess because their streaming just like couldn't handle it well. So like whenever if you're in a
Yeah.
classroom of like 12 people, it would just glitch out. But now if you attend Visual Arts Passage, you can have a silly background.
No, I think it's really vital for Visual Arts Passage for you to show up with a bowler hat on to make announcements in study hall.
We do have like a morning announcement like at high school.
Yeah, and you have to have a cat on your shoulder.
Yeah.
That little plugin that has the cat on the shoulder the entire time you're giving the
Man.
announcements.
Yeah, well, the morning announcements.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
You know,
man.
the intercom.
Do they still do morning announcements at high schools or?
You know, you think I
It's
would
so
know, and I would.
silly. It's so
They
silly.
did up until a couple of years ago when my son was in high school. So I imagine they
man.
do.
I should
Crazy,
know that. I should, you know, I feel so bad. I've never stopped to ask my kids that.
Morning
You'd think that I
announcement.
would do that. My daughter graduated last year. I never asked her once. I'm a horrible parent.
Is your daughter in college now?
Yeah, she just started. She started a concept design program, and I keep trying to convince her to come to illustration isolation. She's like, "Oh, I'll go," and I'm you know, you guys got to help me get her here. So she's great. I really think that she's got some good work going, and I keep wanting her to connect with you all, and I'm going to keep bugging her to do that.
Is she doing things online right now?
Yeah, you know, it's kind of half and half. It really is depending on the instructor. I mean, there's many aspects of the program she's in that has always been online, just because some of the instructors, you know, are on the coast, and but it's kind of a combination. It's a blend, and it was prior to COVID, and you know, COVID obviously now a little bit more so, not only with her classes within her major, but also with you know, liberal arts classes and such. You know,
Yeah.
one of the things that we did at CCS is we had our liberal arts classes go completely remote, only so that we could free up studio space for in-person learning, because there are some departments where, you know, like our glass blowing or furniture department, or you know, crafts or ceramics, where you know, you can't, you know, some of that stuff you just can't do remote, right? So
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we luck out. Oh, sorry, what?
No, go ahead.
Oh, with illustration, you know, obviously, I mean, and I think, you know, I really think, you know, and I really mean this. I think, you know, Visual Arts Passage is the gold standard as far as, you know, what you can do in a remote setting, and have it be like absolutely stellar quality. And I think you all do such a great job with this, and it's an honor to be able to join you all and do this each week. Just because it's just the quality that you guys bring to the table. It's great to see.
That's really nice to hear, Don. John and I have been in isolation since like 2014. So
you guys have been doing this thing, but no one's joined in since then.
Yeah. No, believe
you
it or
guys
not,
are just
took a pandemic.
Completely antisocial,
No, yeah. Was it, one of the things that early on I had read, I think it was a New York Times thing about how the fall 2020 was going to be like, if you wanted, like, as far as getting into the college of your dreams, it was going to be like the best time to apply, right? Because of just the demand. And, and that the 2021 would be one of the most competitive falls, just due to demand. And we were talking about, if my dad was alive, like, I wonder how he'd react to all of this pandemic stuff. And it was like, well, if my dad was alive and I was going to college, he would be like, you're going to college this fall.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That would be the angle. Like, how do you get it? How do you get a deal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
no, I
know my son has been struggling with the online aspect of it.
Really?
But it has a lot to do with the structure and
it's a big pivot. Yeah.
Well, and I kind of I liken it to, we kind of look at the unprecedented with a historical lens. For example, when cars first were made, right, they were literally called horseless carriages, and they looked like a carriage without the horses. You had headlight design looked like the lanterns on a carriage from the 19th century. And it kind of makes sense because that's the lens in which that was people's experience with something unprecedented like an automobile. Right. And I think, what we're doing right now, I think what a lot of instructors that are used to teaching in person and be quote unquote the sage on the stage,
right?
They're trying to transfer what they did in person into a new medium, and some of it sticks, a lot of it doesn't. And and that's why I think, when you have something like Visual Arts Passage, you guys, were doing this before it was cool. So it's like you understand what transfers, what doesn't, and you play to those strengths. And I think, I think hopefully, many people will understand this and figure it out. But anyway, I don't know.
I think that's exactly it. And he was saying that they're doing their classes, which they meet at, and the instructor talks, but then they have to also watch videos, which is just more people talking to them.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not been the adjustment to how to teach online.
Yeah, I think it's, well, okay, for example, I had a student speak with me where their instructor decided to break them into groups to work on a project.
Yeah.
And common sense would say, okay, well, I'm assigning you, break it up into groups of 5 or something if it's a large class.
Yeah.
Well, the instructor, not understanding the technology, said, okay, I want you to go to such and such spot, this discussion board, post that you want to have somebody join you on your group, and the students go there, they post that, nobody thinks to check there. It's just not a natural way to use the technology to get a group of people together. So it's this not understanding how to engage with that and use what you need and jettison the rest. It's kind of like, it's like that movie The Martian where Matt Damon, and sorry people if it's a spoiler alert, it's been out for a long time, so you should have seen it already, but he's trying to get off of Mars. Yeah, and he's got that, he's got that spaceship and it won't work, and so he gets his socket set out and he starts taking off all the stuff off of the rocket ship, because the most important thing is for him to get upward trajectory so he can get back to the mothership and get home. And, so he just, all the stuff that he just lets go of, that's not, I mean, it would have normally been necessary, but the main objective was to get that upward momentum.
Right.
And I think, a lot of, because we're dealing with something unprecedented, and I'm just speaking really for your typical, college, is that I think, it's really challenging for some to get that socket set out and just let go of that one little thing. It's great that you have that electric toothbrush, washer machine that's part of your spaceship, but you can take your socket set and take that off and, lose that 20 pounds so that you can get where you need to be and get the students where they need to be.
Yeah.
And I think I think that's something that, everybody's, and, I understand, it's like, this is really a challenge for a lot of people, but you really want authentic, you really need people that or instructors that understand how to authentically engage with you.
Well, that I think is the thing too. And I mean, I found that I did my first class online for Durham Arts Council on Tuesday, but it definitely benefited from me doing this every week for the last 7 months. And being able, instead of, breaking things down into smaller chunks, was a big part of that. Because I can stand there and engage with the students for an hour if I'm in front of them and we're having a back and forth, but to just hear me talk for an hour.
Oh yeah. I mean, if there's no way you could do a 6-hour lecture via Zoom, I think, I mean, everybody's going to have the brain scramblies about 20 minutes into that.
Right.
Oh, I don't know how you guys behaved in college, but if I was a college student during COVID time, I barely got to classes.
Exactly.
When there was not a global crisis, I am just imagine I would be a college dropout if that had happened, in 2009. I mean, it couldn't have done it. I did not have the. I don't know. I don't mean to be too rough on myself, but it's like
I guarantee
really
you,
difficult.
I wouldn't have been able to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really, I really am trying to do anything I can to help these students, because I mean, it's like,
oh my God, I'm just imagining a nightmare scenario where it would be like me before a final, and I'd be like, okay, I just got to watch 70 hours of class, and then and then study, and I'll be good. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, I have there's a comment from the audience. I wanted to address.
Sure.
A couple of people have said, and this is true for me too, that Dawn, your screen is really low res.
Oh, it is?
Let me see.
Yeah, it's very soft focus. Like it couldn't. Like I can't read the name of the file, but it's
Done. We'll give you some bonus minutes if you want to try and fix that, and I'll head to Montalvo or Who's Drawing.
Yeah, let me see what I can do here.
Bill, you're drawing.
Yeah.
Here we go. Don, take your time.
Okay, I'm going to see.
We'll give you some bonus minutes.
I'm going to go some Timmy minutes.
Some Timmy minutes. Haven't been giving them out for a while.
I'm going to eat up all of Ray's. So
yeah. Sorry, everybody. Bill, thanks for seeing that. Sorry, everybody. I didn't see that message come in. I'm sure we'll hear about it in the next survey.
There you go.
When was this survey conducted?
Dale, don't be so upset about it.
Yeah, we try not to involve you in that part. We'll talk to you about that later.
You were mentioned extensively in it. No,
we need to talk.
Yeah, we have. No.
You're not going to cut my pay, are you?
We pay you?
Yeah. What is 0 divided by? No. To say it was a very, very helpful applauding that we got. I would say everybody's really supportive. So, but honestly, like artwork, I would say, or like what you guys do, I can hear 99 people tell me I did something great. And if one person says a backhand comment at all, I will think about it. I will think about it for a year. Like, really?
That's so true.
That's really you?
Yeah, John, you know about it because John just goes right by him. He moves on. Yeah.
That,
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Haunts me. You talk about horror films.
Yeah. Well, somebody had asked about starting in comics earlier, and I showed 3 people my portfolio, and they were like, "Oh, this looks great. You should show it to this person. You should show it to that person." I showed it to the 4th person, and they were like, "Oh, well, you really need more samples in your portfolio." And that just flattened me at the time.
I remember one of the first times I shared my portfolio, I shared it with an agent. I'm not going to name who it is. They told me that they enjoyed the box that it came in more than the work that was contained within it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was brutal. I'm not going to say who that is, but it was, well, and but it was a tough learning experience. But what I'd done is I really didn't listen to what one of my mentors suggested, which is just simply shoot your artwork flat. And what I had this photographer friend who's like, no, I got to stage these. And he shot them with all these artistic angles. And it was just like, I just want my artwork, reproduced. It was before we could really, get stuff done with great scanners and everything. And I was like, okay. And that was the problem. So it was tough. It was tough taking that,
Yeah, and it's one thing I've told students a lot is that art directors and editors, and this is one thing, if you're trying to do comics, this is one thing to keep in mind, is that art editors are going to give you feedback based on, it's still soft focus, based on what they need. They're going to give you feedback based on what they need. Your instructors or your peers hopefully are going to try to give you feedback based on what they think your work needs.
Yeah.
They don't have that extra, so you can't go to a potential client for feedback. That's kind of the problem with the whole comic setup, is that editors review portfolios, and I mean there's value in that, and that they tell you what the editors need to see, but that doesn't always align with what your work needs.
That, and I think that there's like a healthy, like, let it slide, because it's kind of like if you had $100 and somebody steals $10 from you. My go-to is like, well, now I have to throw away the remaining money.
Wow. Exactly.
you're like it's 0 to 100. It's like, no. I think there is like a healthy idea of this, like, let it slide.
Yeah. Well, I mean, something that John said a while back, a few months ago, about giving feedback, is that he tries to focus on the positive. And I think that's a really valuable way to give feedback,
Yeah, I agree.
Because people know a lot of times we already know what's wrong with their work.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And we can't see the good stuff in it. Showing it to other professionals can be really helpful, but there are professionals out there who are incredibly insecure and threatened, and so
Oh yeah,
you just have to you have to really think about feedback based on who's giving it, where they're coming from, kind of. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Oh yeah. Are they having a bad day?
Yeah, they have the crap. Yeah,
I mean,
really, seriously though.
Yeah. Have they looked at 100 people's work before you?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're dealing with a difficult, superior or editor or someone. I mean, there could be a myriad of reasons, and it's it still makes it difficult. It's like you said, Timmy, there might be a million compliments, but it's human nature to remember that one negative one.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, and I think that's like anthropologically built into us.
Absolutely.
Because like, if I eat like 100 like really tasty berries, but I eat one that's poisonous, like it's really important for me to remember the poisonous one, right?
Good point.
Yeah, like, so I do think and that's not like an original thought of mine. Like I've heard people talk about it. You cling on to to danger, right? Like to negativity, I think could be it can be stickier.
Yeah, no, it's true. And the thing is too, like, especially when you're starting out, there's people that you admire greatly. I mean, always there's people that you admire and their opinion matters, but you also have to take what they say with a grain of salt too.
Yeah.
No matter how much you admire them, because it's harder when you're younger because you're fragile.
Oh yeah.
Or at least I was fragile, but
Bill, but I also think for me now, I think maybe I can, handle it a little bit better, maybe in certain instances, but it's still really difficult. For me at least.
Yeah.
I agree, John.
I learned that if I'm in a certain mood, I maybe shouldn't like make a certain phone call, and I don't think I learned that until I was like, until like a week ago.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, that's like me with being
so like
angry,
So like I kind of try to take that into account. I don't find myself in a situation creatively where I'm presenting my work to people anymore. But when I did, I was really sensitive about it because really honestly, anything other than like applause felt like complete failure, which is like a pretty outrageous standard.
Oh yeah. Especially in what we do, like you send your work in and you don't get a response. You don't really get a response unless something's wrong.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And, so it's kind of like when you text somebody and you don't hear back from them for ever. And then you're like, what happened?
Yeah.
And then you text them again. And
there are some people
I do love constructive criticism. I don't love it, but I try to appreciate constructive criticism. But Don, I like the package more than what came in it. That's not constructive. Other than maybe
it was
maybe unless he or she was trying to tell you to like start a packaging company.
Well, I gotta tell you, it was at a really difficult time. I was working as an in-house illustrator.
Yeah.
It was a great design firm in Salt Lake, but I was really trying to break out of doing that and really go out on my own.
Yeah.
And there's just all the stuff surrounding that and not feeling secure in what I'm doing, and it was very difficult. It couldn't have come at a worse time. And I try to remember that. I'm not I'm not perfect at this, but I just don't see the need to just beat the living daylights out of someone. I think it's it's better to really try and refocus and redirect and find positives and start a healthy dialogue. That's real mentorship.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that's also the thing is too that, and it's harder for people to believe the compliments or the positive things.
Yep.
And but I don't say anything nice unless I mean it.
Yeah.
Actually I don't say anything mean unless I mean it too, but I truly try not to say anything mean.
And I think we have to be careful with that in illustration and related fields. I think there's this toxicity that's there that you almost have to like be masochistic, and I just don't buy into that. I think definitely that it's rigorous. There's going to be times where you're up late. There's going to be times where it's going to be like you just got to slog through it. But I think there's this weird toxicity that exists, and
How do you mean, Don?
Well, it's like, if you don't do 100 drawings, like, I mean, it's great to do 100 drawings, don't get me wrong, but if you're not just eat, sleep, drink, breathe this every,
the tortured artist.
Yeah, I just think,
yeah.
And even Norman Rockwell talked about that in his autobiography, where he was like, he would eavesdrop in on other students' conversations, and they were just, torturing themselves. And he was like, I was just trying to make an eye look like an eye and not a fried egg.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Pete Holmes says it. I mean, you've essentially avoided the salt mines. You're a tent dweller. This is you should enjoy it.
Right. I mean, this is and I remember, Chris was talking about this. Gosh, it could have been years ago when I was a student. I remember him saying, he's like, look, I'm not landing an aircraft on an aircraft carrier in the middle of the Persian Gulf. I get to paint and I get to draw every day. And I think, I think someone was asking him about, well, are you sure you want to take that risk? And he's like, look, this isn't a risk. I'm not landing an aircraft on an aircraft carrier here. I'm painting on a surface, and that was a really useful thing for me to hear, because you do lose sight of that sometimes. At least I do. I'm speaking for myself. I lose sight of that sometimes.
Oh yeah, no, it's intimidating, and you make something, and then, but part of the arc of making things is actually to make a mistake, I think.
Right.
Some things you make a mistake, and
oh yeah,
you don't have a table, you have a box.
Well, I did Chris say too, the only thing taking a risk is the materials,
Yeah.
Is the piece of paper.
Right.
Don, like it was the first big shoot I ever got hired on as I was one of 2 cameramen for it, but it was like a national campaign for a chicken wing franchise. And
big time
that everybody knows, right? It was Dale. It was a huge deal for me.
Sure.
It felt like a really big deal, and
I'm not.
Oh,
I wasn't
kidding. But it is ridiculous, Dale.
Hey, man,
it was a chicken wing. It was a, and I was so stressed about it, and I thought I had these ideas of how it was going to. I got this shoot, but I was thinking of the feature film I was going to work on like 10 years from. Like, I wasn't even thinking about the shoot. It was like I was so serious about it and so intense, and like the first day, something stupid kind of happened that just set things back big time. It wasn't really but I was so stressed about it. And I remember I was really good friends with this guy who was a radiologist at the time. And I was just like ranting to him about it. And he's like, did anybody die on your set today?
Ooh, yeah.
And I was like, no. And he was like, yeah. He's like, this is a conundrum, because he was like, I don't know how to give you advice.
Yeah.
It's like, because he's like, you just can't complain about this. And, I think because it was a shoot with Lyndon Wade was involved with it. Those of you who've been drawing with us for a while, he was a guest with us a couple months ago. But Lyndon was like, he was the first guy on set. He was just like, Timmy, it's just chicken wings, man.
Yeah, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
And it's oh yeah.
And I have a friend here, in the Metro Detroit area. He worked, he no longer does, but he worked with the ABC affiliate, news in the newsroom. And he was like, look, the news has to go on at 5 o'clock, whether or not everything's perfect or not. And that was also a useful thing for me to hear, because, again, I could just, tweak something until it's screaming for me to put it out of its misery.
Yeah.
And I think it's good to just, let go. And I don't want to sound like, look, I think, I really think if you're struggling through something, or you're really struggling to gain confidence in concepts related to illustration or painting, drawing, it's a big deal. I don't want to invalidate what some might be feeling. But I think really what it is it's like it's letting go of that kind of idea of shame, you know. like, you're not the problem. I mean, there's guilt and then there's shame, right? And if you're shame is like, I'm the bad person. No matter what, I can't get it,
Right.
And I think you got to let go of that. And when I was at the academy a couple of summers ago, and I don't remember specifics, but when John Foster got up there and he was talking about, how you really have to take care of yourself, and mental health is a major thing that you have to work on and be conscious of. And it meant a lot to me at the time. And, I've been at this for a while, I'm not an undergrad, I'm not just beginning here. And I think it's good for all of us to practice, regardless of where we're at on that spectrum, anyway. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Amen.
It can't be the be all and end all.
Yeah.
We have to take care of our mental health in many cases. It's just sometimes it gets so hard on us because I think we're getting critical about our our own jobs or works and everything.
Yeah.
Sometimes we can do some real harm to ourselves because we know where it hurts, and if we don't take care of it or be a little resilient with that, sometimes you just can't give it all up. It's no, I'm just not good for this. And that's where the danger is.
Yeah. The awards, the trophies won't fix fix it.
I remember I think it was Brent that was saying to us that in the big supermarket of life, we work in the toy department.
Yeah. That's so good. Yeah.
It's so great. It takes it takes a weight out of your shoulder in such a way. It's just, as you were saying, this is not, we're not, landing a plane. Whatever we can do wrong is, okay, of course, we have to take care of this and not screw with our clients. But if something really, really goes wrong, the worst thing that can happen is just you're going to lose the job.
Right.
Oh, but Montalvo, to what you're saying, like I think a creative that's like not afraid to fail, right? To me, it's like, oh, that's somebody I would definitely want to work with. But I don't want to get on a plane with a pilot who's
yeah,
right?
Or a brain surgeon.
Yeah,
right?
We might land.
Yeah,
we might be upside down in the ocean. We don't know.
Hey man, we're gonna I'm gonna fly this plane
I'll do my
jazz.
best.
Yeah, just kind of made it on the runway.
Yeah. I'm just gonna, the jazz musician of pilots.
Is there anybody else who can fly the plane?
Gianna, yeah, exactly. Gianna has gotten frustrated at the end of a long day of teaching second grade, and maybe I'll be like, what should we eat? And she'd be like, I don't care. I don't know. Just choose. Right. And I'll kind of keep prodding, and she'll be like, did you know that grade school teachers make more last minute decisions than brain surgeons? To which my response is, do you want your brain surgeon making a lot of last minute decisions?
Right.
You're like,
Hey, Timmy, as a guy who's been married for 30 years,
not the route.
Just a little advice. Sometimes you should just listen.
Yes.
I'll take your advice, Dale.
Yeah, second that.
Yeah, one thing that my ex-wife used to say to me is that you have to choose one. You want to be right, or do you want to be happy?
I went to a couples counselor that said the same thing.
Yeah, and sometimes,
do you want to be right, or do you want to get along?
Give up the conversation.
Right or dead right,
Timmy, you're on tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just aside, Dale, that looks fantastic. I'm checking out what you're drawing. That's amazing.
Thank you.
And
it's a nice picture.
Yeah, and John also too. That's sort of from where I can see.
Yeah, really nice.
Provocative of a Gary Kelly piece.
I haven't been. I don't know. I'm not my best tonight.
Oh, that looks amazing.
I love it.
I'll put on the other camera here.
Looks great from Brazil.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, from Brazil, it probably looks okay.
Oh no, that looks
Oh,
fantastic.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, nice.
It's a great piece.
I mean, there's a chiseled quality to that I really like.
Yeah.
Because I haven't screwed it up yet.
Well,
I haven't worked on it.
About Gary's work, so it's like last week when you had your piece that it was just like the shapes and then the line drawing. I mean, I love where you went with it, but it was at a great point then too.
Yeah, they're always good at some point, and then they go away.
No, it was good at the end too.
I'm kidding. A lot of times they're not good at some point.
Yeah.
Man, tonight is a blur. Is this the third pose?
Yeah, we got another
Yeah.
pose, and we
We
gave
switched
Don
around
some more
this one.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did the screen ever get in better resolution? I'm just curious. I know
No.
It didn't, but
I'm sorry. Well, I
Sorry.
tried.
but everybody, you can see the broad strokes.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's.
I mean, your piece
I'll
looks
probably.
great.
Thanks. I'll probably take this further, but it's really just in this time, just trying to get that initial movement and gesture down. So.
I mean, Don, 5 years ago, people wouldn't even complain about that blur. So
That would be
this,
high resolution 5 years ago.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like how you
Nice.
push the figure into space.
Oh, thanks.
My drawing is more upright, and yours looks
Ooh,
like
that's nice.
Oof.
he was really leaning forward.
We're checking out Dale Stephanos'
Yeah, that's
studio.
great.
Nice, Dale.
Really like that.
Oh, that's gorgeous, Dale.
Thanks.
Dale.
No, it's always nice. I forgot I was drawing when we were talking.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I do my better work when I'm not concentrating on what I'm doing.
I'm
Does
with
that
you
make
on that.
sense?
Yeah. No, I hear you.
That's why I liked all the banter when I'm drawing, because it makes me forget what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Well,
All right. Well, cool.
Dale.
Hey, Montalvo, can we
Dale or
see?
Montalvo?
I'll go unless Montalvo, if you want to go, doesn't matter to me.
Oh, nice, Montalvo.
Nice.
Yeah,
Actually, I think the pose from this photograph, I kind of thought of Montalvo when I pulled this pose.
Yeah.
And I thought he would like it.
Yeah.
We can hop around. How about that?
That's fine.
That'll be easy. Yeah. All right.
The one next to it looks great too, Montalvo.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah, thank you.
The thunder from down under.
Yeah.
All right. So that makes me want to admit, John, that I watched like one of the worst movies last night. Thunderdome.
What?
Mad Max.
Max.
Yeah, I've seen that.
It's so bad.
Is that the one that has Sting in it?
No. Sting in it?
Sting isn't Sting in that one?
No. I don't
No, are
think
you
so.
thinking about Dune?
I was certain you were going
No.
to say Crocodile Dundee. I was like certain Bill Smith.
No.
Crocodile Dundee. This is a knife.
Oh man.
That's not a noise.
Tina Turner's in it.
Yeah.
This reminds me of the intro to Dumb and Dumber where Jim
Yeah.
Carrey's driving the chauffeur or he's being a chauffeur and he
Uh-huh.
pulls over and the woman's like, "I'm from Austria." He's like, "Well, put another strip on the Barbie."
Oh man.
Where are you going to work in, Montalvo?
In this piece here,
Yeah.
this is what I'm doing here. Just letting it a little bit looser, bit of a caricature, something.
So are we moving on to the next pose?
We're on
Yeah.
to Montalvo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Hey,
Let's go.
Montalvo, do you think it's possible? Is your camera able to get any closer, or is it right up to your shoulder?
All right. Let me just. I'm trying to.
Because because it's so far away, it's blown. Your paper is being blown out.
All right.
Yeah, that's gonna be great.
Is that right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I tried to replace the camera. It was just on the other sessions, I was just too straightforward, and it was getting on my way a little bit.
Yeah.
And this time I just tried to.
I think this will be good.
Yeah. Are we all good? Yeah.
We're good to go.
Let's do it.
So which one are we doing?
Well, which one is the
The
next one?
girl
Coming out of the blacks.
The yellow or green.
All right.
Oh, awesome. That's great.
That's
It's a great photo.
I thought of Montavo when this one. That was going to be perfect for him.
Thank you.
No pressure.
All right.
Like Montavo's going to do the best drawing of his life. When
Don't mess it up.
Oh, now I got some pressure.
I'm teasing.
Are we going?
Yep, we're going.
Yeah, all right.
Montavo. Now, most of the screen is your hair, which we all love, but unfortunately, it seems like, yeah, you might have to position things a little differently.
Is that better?
We'll see.
I just can't.
Hey,
go like.
it's a good show no matter what. It's great.
All right. I'll get, the whole of it.
I think it looks great now.
Is it better now?
Yeah, much better.
I really like the way her hair is sort of streaming around the front and the back of her on this.
Bill, thanks for speaking up. I thought I lost my audio for a second.
Yeah, it was really
Yeah,
quiet.
so-
I was like, God.
And I was like, everybody's actually drawing. You know,
I was going to put pressure on Montalvo and tell him that Gary Kelly was in the audience.
yeah.
He's been watching over my shoulder when I was drawing, and I didn't freak out. It was quite an experience.
I was just gifted with the most awesome thing. My mother's kind of slowly unloading stuff. I think as people her age do, they start just giving their stuff away, downsizing and all that. So she had my stepfather was a basketball player, and they would go to the All-Star game every year. And a few years ago, it was in Chicago, and Gary Kelly did the poster.
Oh, cool.
So I've got this big, probably, I don't know, 2-3 foot tall, well, probably actually like 3 foot tall Gary Kelly print that I'm gonna put up. I've been lusting after it for years, and
Yeah.
she finally gave it up.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Good thing to have.
Oh my God, it's so beautiful.
There's a friend of mine that he has this incredible story about his parents. He was about 40, 42 years old by then. And when he was a kid, he wanted to draw, but his parents just wouldn't allow him to. Said, well, you got to do something real. You got to study. You got to write something, right? So whenever he was drawing, they were trying to, push him out of that. And then time goes on, and he became one of the best, most incredible draftsmen in Brazil, working for McDonald's for years and doing some beautiful stuff. But back then, he just wouldn't be allowed to. And then his parents were just, moving from one house to another and found a box and said, well, you know what? There are some books here. There are some things that you wrote when you were a kid. Can I just throw them away? I said, no, I want to check it out. Just don't throw anything away. It's just all mine. And then he goes flipping through things, and he finds a notebook he was just writing on, and then started reading from like 30 on the back. And then he says, I was writing this to myself because I couldn't draw. And he was just drawing with text and writing stories to himself. When he was older, he said, well, when I'm older, I can go back to this and draw, whatever I want. And then he started telling him what he should be doing, when he was 40. And then he found the book. And that's so incredible. Just like, the butterfly effect. It's just, he got in conversation to himself like many, many years before. And then he started writing the stories. He got this seriously. This is so amazing. It was just, and now I can draw, and now nobody else, can bother me. And I can do whatever my younger self told me to.
Wow.
That's a funny story.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Someone just asked, I don't know, maybe I'm late to it because I stepped away, but we're using the coming out of the blocks reference.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Timmy can't tell by what any of us are drawing. Just
Yeah.
No, I wasn't asking. I was telling. I thought that maybe I stepped away.
It's like,
oh man, I can't
Couldn't
do
tell
anything.
me, I'm
Can't
still
do
on the
anything right
last
now.
it's
Yeah, John thinks that the photos are just suggestions.
like in school, he's
Yeah.
doing his English homework and math,
Yeah.
right? Well, that's nice. John's a diligent student. It's just in the wrong subjects.
Right.
Make fun of me, guys. It's all right. I'm just slow tonight. Well, slower than usual.
Anybody Halloween plans? Big Halloween parties. Yeah. No, dressing up. Do we have some do any of you guys do costumes?
No.
No.
I'd like to say I do, but
We need Audrey here tonight.
Oh, Audrey's
Yeah.
amazing. Audrey's amazing in costumes.
She's taking a tour right now. She went to Sleepy Hollow.
No way. That's
She
cool.
drove to Sleepy Hollow. She's a big
Yeah.
Halloween fan.
That's fantastic.
That's cool.
Someone just messaged, I miss the girls. We all do.
Oh,
We're sorry.
so do we.
It's really
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do too. They'll be back.
They'll be back.
I bet Audrey's here next week. She was traveling, and Ashley is about to have a baby.
Oh, that's right.
So
That's not a good excuse.
Oh, that excuse.
I know.
Yes.
Lame excuse.
We both went to
Oh,
the same
yeah.
place. That's funny.
Come on.
Taking the iPad there and do some
For
stuff.
those of you in the audience, wait, I am going to cut you guys off. For those of you in the audience who don't know what sarcasm is, I want a sarcasm asterisk noted at this part of the video.
Yeah.
Well, you should just get that update in the new Zoom.
Yeah, exactly.
You
Yeah,
have a like a beep sound or something.
yeah. I'll
Sarcasm.
be beeping it. This will be the Gianna is, as many of you got to see actually early quarantine. Gianna's really serious about costumes too.
yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
We've she's never gotten me to do a couple's costume, but she always does. She dressed me up as on the topic of Dumb and Dumber as Jim Carrey when he's at the lodge. Like not your typical Jim Carrey that you see on Halloween, right? But she's always wanted to do a couple's costume, and I think that this year, because of my hair, we're really it's right now. It seems very likely we're gonna do Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah, you can pull that one off.
Yeah, we both have the perfect hair for it. That or
You got trench coats?
yeah.
Oh,
man,
good.
Yeah.
What are you going to do, Timmy?
Jay and Silent Bob.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was that or Bill and Ted.
No, I think Jay and Silent Bob is
It's a better fit.
yeah. I mean, I'm going to be giving out candy, and I put some Halloween decorations out. And I'll probably dress up somehow. I don't know. I mean, I'll have a mask on, and probably some face paint or something.
Nice.
You know.
Jeremiah just asked which one I would be, which despite the fact that I have facial hair and Gianna doesn't, she really wants to do a goatee. So she's going to be Silent Bob.
That's funny.
Mm.
Yeah.
That doesn't work. Sonny and Cher. That'll work.
Yeah.
Sonny and Cher. Yeah.
A lot of
I
people
love
don't know who Sonny and Cher is.
I bet we got some of the illustration isolation lifers probably know.
My wife a few years ago did the best costume. She was Black Swan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, pretty edgy choice.
That's
Edgy choice.
It was pretty cool. People were like, "Oh yeah, hey."
We did.
That's a good horror movie.
That is.
Yeah, that is a good horror movie.
Yeah.
We did when I was living with my brother, Gianna and my brother were in this house, and then my brother's wife came into town. This is years ago. We all did as a group the Goonies, and
That's awesome.
Loved it.
Oh, that's great.
And Tony did what's his name? The older brother that's like the total bro. And now he's an iconic. Now he's like an iconic actor.
It's Brolin, right? Isn't it?
Yeah,
Jason?
Josh Brolin. Tony dressed up as Josh Brolin as like the total. No, he's got the exercise equipment and everything that he gets.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Truffle shuffle, man.
Yeah. Yeah, his wife dressed up as what's the character's name? Chunk or something? Yeah, and
Chunk.
Yeah, Chunk.
He's my favorite.
Just like classic 1980s. Just horrible. Yeah, and then Gianna did. What's the? Hey, you guys. What's the character's name? I don't know the movie well enough.
He was also, that same actor was also in, wasn't he in the Indiana Jones, second Indiana Jones movie?
Sloth. I don't know.
The kid?
I didn't follow his.
Shortstop.
Shortstop. Ugh.
Yeah.
We rewatched that. That was not. That did not. That chapter of that chapter. No, I mean the film held up, but that section of it was like, oof.
Yeah.
Not well.
No. Yeah.
But somebody just messaged sloth. That's
sloth.
Sloth. Yes. So both of our significant others decided to pick the least likable characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was like, we were at a Halloween party where people tended to pick the more like glamorous, like egocentric costumes, you know, and Gianna and Danny were dressed up as Chunk and Sloth. And it was just fantastic, you know.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Chunk and Sloth.
I think the best costumes I did was one year I did Van Gogh, and
that's a good one.
Orange paint in my hair and my beard. And then another year I was the Twister game. So I took the paper that you line drawers with or whatever, contact paper.
Yeah.
And I got the dots and stuff, and I wore all white, and then put the dots on the front of me, and then I had a spinner dial hanging around my neck.
That's good. I was telling John before we opened the room up, Bill, I don't know if you're in the room, but I was like, we should have told like one person that we were all coming in costume to draw tonight.
I wish Ray was here. We could have done
Ray
it.
was
Ray.
here. Yeah, Ray's just dressed up like Dracula. With
all keep the camera on him the whole time.
Yeah. The only person to dress up.
I'm getting the color of blood.
Joke. Just the meanest joke.
We're all going to do this in character, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we should tell Ray that. Have Ray do that. Oh, goodness.
Best Halloween costume I ever had. I was 8 years old, and the Batman series, the made-for-television Batman series, Adam West series, just came out, and nobody had Batman swag. I mean, it was too early. And my dad, I don't know how much time he spent doing this, but he made a mask for me. He made my face. Did the whole thing.
Cool.
It was awesome.
That's so.
I was the only Batman in town. It was awesome.
That's seriously
cool.
And he did a great job with it. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And every year he would paint my sisters and mine, whatever we wanted to be. He would paint our faces, and he would spend hours doing it. Wow. Of course, we probably lost awesome. 10 or 12 years of our lives from the chemical problems, but
all oil paint.
The buddy
it probably made Halloween that much more wild.
It was great. Well, if you like go and research and look at like the Wyatt family, what they did, I mean, they really took Halloween serious.
Yeah, it was a major holiday there.
Yeah, it was for us too. We really liked it. Enjoyed it. But it had to be, you had to make your costume. That was the cool part.
Yep.
I've never been a buy the costume person.
No, me neither.
No.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, one year I had my parents buy me a safari hat, and my mom put a fake mustache on me, and I was Clark Gable. I don't know why I thought of Clark Gable,
That's all you needed.
but
Yeah.
Bill, I had one of those years. My mom dressed me up as Miami Vice, but like, no, talk about like a self-serving costume. Like, I didn't know who they were. All my friends, like, who are you? I'm like, I think it was like Miami Ice. Like, you know, like it was
yeah.
yeah. Like my buddy Lyndon dressed up as a NASCAR fan, and because his kid wanted to be a NASCAR car. And so he was like, I'm gonna dress up as a NASCAR fan. And it being Lyndon, his costume was so great. I was like, I looked at it and I was like, your kid looks like your prop. I was like, you know, yeah.
I love seeing photos of Halloween from like the 40s and 50s. The costumes before the 60s, before the sort of store-bought costumes came in.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
They just so cool.
Well, then you have those old vintage postcards that will have kids posing together, and talk about some of those can look really creepy.
Oh god. Have you seen the Ralph Meat Yard photos of kids in Halloween masks?
Do
you know who that is?
Not
No.
familiar. No.
Ralph Bougie Meat Yard. Let me pull it up. I'm going to post a link in just a second.
Somebody asked a legitimately good question a while ago. I have a question from Montage. Sorry if I'm pronouncing the name wrong. Do you have any suggestions about how to get better at drawing the human anatomy from imagination? Any resources or books to help with that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Don't do it from imagination.
Draw from
Draw it from life, draw it from learn anatomy, then draw it from imagination.
Yeah, that's the only way it gets into your imagination.
Draw yourself.
You have to inform yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are a couple of really great books that I would, if I was to recommend. I mean, there's Steve Houston has a really terrific book on figure drawing, and he really breaks down form in a really interesting way. I definitely would recommend that book. Can't recall the title right off the top of my head, but there's also Drawing Comics the Marvel Way.
Oh yeah. Boy,
that's got a great section on perspective.
Yeah. I just, it's one of those go-to classics,
Yeah. There's also nowadays there's photo resources online for learning to draw.
Oh yeah.
People in anatomy that didn't exist when we were younger.
Yeah, I think there's well, I know, there's, especially with younger people, I think there's this emphasis on, if you're not drawing it from your imagination, then you're not really a good artist or something like that. And it's really, you get there by repetition.
Yeah.
And you start that repetition by looking at actual people. There's nothing wrong with actually going to the source.
Yeah. I mean, drawing, you know, drawing from an informed point of view. I mean, I just look at my sketchbooks before I went to art school and after I went to art school. And one was from, you know, drawing from comic books and drawing out of my head. And the other had, you know, 4 or 5 years of figure drawing informing it.
You know, the idea of the pride that is associated with, you know, not drawing from reference.
Yeah.
I think it's a really interesting thing to me because I'm kind of like a hip hop head, and I feel like there's the same energy as a non-drawing person, right? There's the same energy in hip hop behind freestyle rapping.
Oh yeah.
And you're kind of like, as a listener, I personally am like, as long as the you know, the quality and the content and it makes me think, I don't really care if
Right.
I don't care how we get there. You know, but I have always thought of that there's this like weird badge of, yeah, I just came up with it.
Right.
You know?
And you know that's BS because you know those.
Oh my God, Little Wayne is like, he is the one guy who is always saying he just came up with it in the booth, and you're like, no, it's too good. Just let it be good.
Well, he might have just come up with it, but it's like doing thumbnails, you know.
Yeah.
He's done that many times, and maybe that particular, maybe one line popped out or a few lines popped out, but that was born from lots of
many
work.
years. Oh yeah, lots of work. Totally. Yeah. It's not like but I don't know. I just, for whatever reason, maybe it's kind of a dumb thought, but I was just like, it feels like kind of a parallel where it's kind of like maybe not the thing to stress about. I don't know. Comedians are like that kind of too. There's a few comedians that they just like stand up. They just like, they go on set and they just start to riff, but then they're I think Chris Rock is like a great example. Like it is a staged performance that he has practiced a million times before his big show. Yeah.
He goes and well, a lot of the great ones go and work things out. That's how I'm just so impressed by comedians who, you know, are really comfortable with, okay, that didn't get a laugh, let's see, what else do we do, you know, just move on. That's just so impressive to me.
My friend and our model Christopher went to the Comedy Cellar when he was living in New York, and he saw I'm trying to remember the lineup. It was Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, and like 2 other like major names.
Wow.
Perform in front of like 35 people.
That's awesome. Right.
And yeah, but he said, and it didn't make any sense until like a couple years later, I saw an interview with Chris Rock, but he said it was so weird. Chris Rock went up on the stage and just like had his phone out and just looked at the phone and just read the jokes with no, he didn't like emote, and he, you know, like Chris Rock is like one of the more animated performers. He just read them.
Yeah.
Like with a flat tone. And everybody was kind of like, but it was still like the content was Chris Rock like content. So it was hilarious. And I saw an interview with Chris Rock like a year later. I sent it to him. I was like, oh my God, this is wild. You got to see this happen. Chris Rock, when he's like testing his material, because he is Chris Rock, he's like, I get applauded. And I guess this is probably something any iconic artist runs into, is like, I get applauded for no matter what I do. It's hard to know. It's hard to know if it's actually good now, because literally all I got to say is like, hey, I'm Chris Rock, and I get like an applause.
Yeah.
And he's like, so I go out and I say it with I don't play it up at all. And he's like, and if people laugh, then I know it's funny, because it's funny without me even saying it. It's really interesting.
It's funny that like that was actually Stephen Wright's act, right?
Was it?
Yeah. Well, he had such a flat affect that.
Mhm.
Do you know Stephen Wright?
Oh yeah.
No, I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just
Favorites.
deadpan as hell. So I guess it's probably the same thing. Like if people would laugh along with that,
Yeah.
you knew it was funny. That's interesting. I didn't know I knew he worked out like that, but I didn't know he just did cold, just
Oh,
cold.
I think he ends up with a room of people who are like, dang, I thought I was gonna get to see Chris Rock.
Yeah, he's not really that funny.
I just watched Chris. I mean, it was it's about the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to see that. Was that good?
A doc on
It's phenomenal.
Showtime.
It's
Yeah.
phenomenal. And everybody, and Chris Rock says it. He said Pryor was the king, and
Yeah.
he said that
Mhm.
he would come in here and just bomb, and just take the abuse and make it better. Just keep coming back the next night. He said in a month, he said he would go through 4 or 5 weeks this progression. It would be the same material he started with, but his delivery was different and just slight adjustments. And he said by the time he was done, it was killer. But it would just be, he would just go up and bomb on the first night and just, okay, that's part of the process. Now go on to the next thing.
John, we were at the Comedy Cellar and one person bombed, and it was so great because the only laughter you can hear when someone is bombing there are the comedians that have just come off stage in the back of the room. They laugh when the guy bombs because, like, I think that there's nothing they like to watch more. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the more, I think about getting to go to that place and see a show there, and that was probably one of my favorite things I've ever done. And it was so surreal because there's only like 30 or 40 people in the room on like a weeknight, and we saw like Hassan Minaj perform, like,
oh wow,
yeah, like big names
Wow.
in
That's pretty
entertainment.
cool.
Judah Friedlander, like,
Wow.
yeah. It's a really, I want to watch. I haven't watched the documentary, but I really want to watch it because it's a fascinating.
I saw Louis C.K. there, and oh God,
Scandal noted.
What's that?
I said asterisk scandal noted.
Yeah.
Oh, it was before. Yeah, it was before.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing though. He was kind of working stuff out with him. Though you could never tell if he was working stuff out or if he was just, that was the thing he was doing.
I saw Patton Oswalt out in San Francisco quite a few years ago, and I laughed so hard I was just hurting.
He's so funny.
Oh, I think he did a few shows out there. At the time, he was doing the voiceover for Ratatouille, and a couple of my friends that were at Pixar were just like, they just, he would try stuff out with them, and he would do a lot of just impromptu stand up with them while he was there working, and they were like, we could hardly ever get anything done.
Awesome.
Funny man.
Oh yeah, I don't know if you've seen his latest special. I think it's on Netflix. It just is. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's funny is I follow both him and his wife on Twitter and Instagram and stuff, and there's a story that he tells about jogging or hiking.
Mm-hmm.
Leaving the house angry and hiking, but then they share her side of that story.
He did his side of that story on this special.
Yes.
Yeah, and I don't think I mean, she wasn't there for that, but yeah, that is seriously funny.
And then it's hilarious. And then she shares her side of the story, and it's equally as funny too. So.
Yeah, because wasn't it one of their first major arguments or something like that?
Oh yeah.
Well, I think we hit the end of the pose.
Hit the pose wall.
Pose wall.
Pretty good.
All right. Wow. I hope everybody's been posting their work. If you're thinking about posting it, you're not sure, you're like, I don't know. You should
Post it.
post it. Do it. I know you're not sure, but you're wondering, is it good enough? Should I post it? You should post it.
Just
It's good.
post it.
It's good enough. Post it.
Yeah, we'd love to see it.
Well, I invited some of my Tuesday night students here, so I
Oh, great.
hope they showed up.
I invited some of my Saturday students here, Dale. That's a,
Oh, those guys. Jeez, they must be exhausted. They're
they
so-
work hard, don't they?
Yeah, it's really inspiring.
Are you guys still getting started back up with the Wednesday night?
Study hall?
Study hall, yeah.
The famous study hall.
Study hall, yeah.
Yeah, I was doing study hall till 10:15 last night.
Wow.
Oh, you lasted, you were in there for another hour.
No, we're a different time zone.
Yeah.
We were there about, pretty close to it.
Yeah, because I got out of there at what, like 10:30
Yeah.
my time.
I think so. It was 45 minutes more.
There's some good stuff there.
There's some great stuff there.
Cool. Well, I'll stop by sometime soon.
I love seeing what they do.
Yeah.
I love seeing all the classes together. That's like really inspiring to me. All right, so we want to bounce around the room, or
Yeah, I've actually kind of been doing that. So, but we'll take one last stop by, everybody. Montalvo.
Yep.
Can we see that closer? That's awesome.
Oh, that's great,
Oh,
Montalvo.
wow, that's cool.
Yeah, it's nice.
Great.
Yeah, frame it.
Love it.
Thank you. It was fun because this image got a lot of energy and movement lines and stuff.
Yeah.
Try to get some caricature out of it.
Oh, nice.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, cool.
Right.
that's nice.
Works both ways.
Thanks.
Yeah, it does.
Thank you.
John.
John,
Oh, that's looking great.
That looks nothing like this woman.
No, I know.
John, that doesn't look anything
I have her
like
from
it.
the other view. I drew her from imagination what she would be coming
Yeah,
at.
this is John does not draw with reference.
save.
Okay,
I can't concentrate.
cool.
That looks great, though.
All right,
Yeah, it
let's
looks
check.
great.
Let's check out some artwork.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, I almost forgot.
Timmy, you or me.
It'd be great if you could do it.
Okay. Give me 1 second.
Can you also do it and not like share your social security number? Or is
I can't.
I can't promise.
I'm making no promises, but I'm going to do it. I'm opening it before I share it.
That's always good. That should be a standard policy.
All right. Here we go. Everybody see?
Yeah.
Cool.
I think we'll start.
Right.
What do I need to do here?
Oh no! Hashtags are apparently.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. Donald Trump had to ruin one.
Let's go to Facebook. I wonder if it's
Go
the
straight
same.
to Facebook. No, it won't be. It won't be the same on Facebook.
I'm gonna stop here.
Apparently, Sorry, I should have done some research. I should have known about that ahead of time.
What was it?
George is using illustration isolation to spread a bunch of false information. So they've
Maybe that's where
canceled our
Ray is
hashtag.
tonight.
No, I think that they're trying to control some hashtags, and I'm wondering if maybe somebody ruined the fun by posting something not true. I don't know. I don't know. You would think that our hashtag wouldn't get wouldn't be. I think that we wouldn't find ourselves in the center of a political drama.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, looking nice.
But this will work.
Yeah.
There we go.
Great.
Sorry, everybody, you posted to Instagram, but those are things we can't control.
Nice.
Cool.
Oh, Randy. Really good.
Randy. Yeah.
Roberto. Still mad at you.
Nice, Addy.
Ooh, that's cool.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Very fun.
Hey.
Nice one.
It's like Gary. Oh, that's cool.
But that's beautiful.
Yeah. Love that. Nice gesture. Yeah.
Becca.
Hey.
All on one page. That's
Hey,
fun.
Jonathan.
Jonathan was in study hall with us late last night,
Oh, awesome.
showing his piece he's doing for Sterling Hunley's class.
That's great.
Oh, that's a nice drawing.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, cool.
I could tell that was Brian's. It's
Oh,
not, it's not green, but I could still tell it was Brian's. He uses it. He's changed his palette
Green
up.
and yellow. Green and
That's
yellow.
right.
That's very nice.
Cool.
I'm only teasing you, Brian, because the work is excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, nice.
Oh. Very cool.
Oh, very good.
Hit the play button. Let's see.
Oh, that's cool.
Do it.
Did I-
Hit the button.
Oh,
Hit the play
okay.
button.
Procreate.
Ah, okay.
Okay, cool.
Time lapse.
All right. Nice.
Nice, Laura.
I love these time lapses that people are putting together.
Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah.
I joke with George. He sends them to me all the time.
Yeah.
So, can you just send me the finish? I don't want to know how you got it.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Oh, that's cool.
Very cool.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thank you for doing that.
Sweet.
Oh, that's great.
That's Wes Burt's mom.
Oh, great.
Oh, cool.
Wait a
Nice.
second. I lost it right when I said that. I missed the arrow. Hold on.
There we go.
Marianne.
Oh, that's great.
Nice.
That's fun. Nice, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very cool.
Love that energy.
Hey, Jonathan, I don't want you turning that in for a daily exercise or anything. You're more than, yeah, you should. That's not, Heather, I spoke with Heather yesterday. Heather's gotten very good.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's great. Love that.
Nice sharing. I really like your value control on that. It's excellent.
They just everybody to give you an update. They've they've hid all hashtags on Instagram from recent posts.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because of the spread of possible false information.
Oh, the election.
You heard it here first at Illustration Isolation.
Dang, I did not
What's
not
the
realize
false-
that.
The false
Yeah.
information that you should learn
About drawing.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, Dale, Instagram was really
Great
upset with
woodcut
our,
feel.
with
Yep.
our general philosophy on illustration.
Like it, Doug.
Yeah, I love that woodcut feel.
It's nice. That's nice too.
Yeah, great energy.
A lot of good stuff.
I'm seeing
Motion in there.
Ooh, that's really nice. I'm seeing a post with the illustration isolation hashtag on Instagram.
Yeah, me too.
Really?
Yeah,
Not new
Huh.
ones.
It's just my computer. Sorry.
that's right.
I'm being censored.
Yeah, the bot farm's after him.
You know what it is, Bill? They're probably blocking it from people that they think are susceptible, like me. Like me and John.
Another one. There's another one.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's cool.
Really nice, Romano. Good drawing.
Yeah, well, we'll sort it out later. But
All right.
Hey,
Felicity.
it's looking great.
That's cool.
She did one last week
Yeah.
that I'm still thinking about. It's just amazing.
don't watch The Exorcist until you're at least 14.
Yeah. You can even wait longer if you want. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Someday I'll tell you my Linda Blair story, Timmy, but not.
Oh my God. That's wild.
She grew up in the town I grew up in.
No way.
Oh, no kidding.
Yep.
No way.
Serious.
Yep, we're the same age.
Oh my goodness.
That's cool. Nice.
Very good. I like the head in his hands. No discus there.
That's fun. Some Halloween themed drawings. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. That's great.
Did you catch it on the last one? It was there too.
Oh, I missed it. But yeah,
Right there.
Oh, the head. That's cool.
Ah.
Spooky alert.
You guys missed it.
Really funny.
Pretty fun. Hey, Rebecca.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
That's interesting. Good, Gina. Guess who?
Oh wow.
Oh, that's fun.
Wow.
Got a really nice feeling of light mood in that.
It's simple and complex at the same time.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I like the different direction of the lines and in between the
Mhm.
It feels like there was really a figure there and he just put light on it. That's
Yeah.
what's cool about it.
Very nice. Another good one, Randy. Ooh, nice, Jeremy.
Nice one.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Love that red.
Yeah, very, very smart use of a red.
Yeah, I like it up in the head too.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Nice drawings. Oh, really nice.
Oh, that's cool.
Looks like a Brad Holland.
Holland, yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. You know, I was going to say that.
kind about that one.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, I was thinking that too.
It was like, wow, that's even more.
Yeah, yeah.
These are good.
Oh, that's
Oh,
great.
cool.
I love these things.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Oh, that was so great. Hey, John, I think you hit the end, but I would say this. I think a few people reposted here. So
Okay.
if you exit out and hit refresh, I think we might have just like a few more images. I feel bad for the people that I don't want us to miss it, but yeah. So just don't click on the arrow. Pretty much click on anything but the arrow.
That's what I'm doing.
You've done it before.
I know. I do it when I don't want to do it. I'm looking all over the place.
Just click behind it.
Okay.
No,
That screwed me.
not on that.
Okay.
Ah!
Got the Kansas City Chiefs schedule.
John, just stop sharing your screen. You're making me nervous.
Don't worry, nothing's gonna come up. Just hold on a second.
Uh-oh.
Oh
I go back to
God.
Instagram,
Oh my
see if
God,
that
this
works.
is anxiety attack.
Hmm.
Minimize it.
Drawing.
Oh my God.
I don't have anything to hide.
Yeah, but we all have things that we can be ashamed of.
Well, I don't really have anything to be ashamed
Yeah.
of. Okay. I got to go to all. New stuff right at the top.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, nice. Oh, yeah.
Very nice.
Good band, Gary.
Peter?
Yeah, John, you're kind of the evil Knievel of desktop share. It's like,
Well, I kind of panicked there. I didn't want to go out.
Is he gonna land this or
Or is this going to be a splat?
yeah, exactly. Like, we need a broadcast delay.
That's very nice.
Yeah, that's great.
Peter. Oh, nice, Rodney.
Oh, I love that. With
That's
the,
very fun.
yeah.
That's fun
Oh,
too.
sweet.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, Rodney, nice,
Whoa.
nice work.
Have we seen Rodney's work before? Here? Is this the first?
I don't remember.
Wow.
If it was this good, I would remember. But maybe you have. I don't know. But I think it's great.
I
Really cool.
Yeah.
think a
Great solution.
new drawer with us.
Nice.
There's Jesse.
That's fun.
Yeah, crop.
That's cool.
Got them all on one page.
What's the whole story?
I think
It's from last week.
I think we've crossed over at this point.
Well, we're back.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Sweet. Awesome.
Elena.
Yeah.
I know Elena. Well, it's upstairs. I got a beautiful postcard from her of her work. I think now we're at the beginning. All right.
Nice.
So much fun, guys.
Hey, everybody. Thank you. This was fun.
Yeah.
Everybody have this is a couple of big, you have two very scary nights coming up. You have Halloween and you got election night.
Hope it's
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
I hope everybody has a safe week, and
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing you all next week. Whatever happens next Tuesday, we'll be here Thursday.
Yeah, we're gonna be here Thursday. We are planning on it no matter what. That being said, please go vote.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
For sure.
Don't sleep on it. Please go do it. So happy Halloween. Be safe.
Yep. Everyone have a great night. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, John. Thank you.
Elena says, "Oh God, I can't wait till next Thursday. We'll all be different people."